I just want to come on here real quick because a lot of you know me as Unity Ghost, the Hebrew Israelite brother. I want to show you another aspect of myself. I am also a biologist um, with a degree in biology. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Genetically modified mosquitoes cleared for release in the U.S. Why this is important? This is important to me because one thing you learn about infectious diseases and things of that nature is that ways of getting them. You can touch and get a disease, eat something, get a disease. There's different ways of doing it. One of them is use of a vector. A vector is somewhat of an animal. Let's say, for instance, you have a dog that has rabies, and he's a vector, and he spreads it by biting other. Mosquitoes are known to spread something called the Zika virus and other viruses. They're also known to have the inject people with parasites that cause a malaria, a disease that's killed, if not millions. I didn't look at that, but malaria is a big issue as well as the Zika virus and other things that this mosquito carries. So if this is recent news and they put a genetically modified mosquito, one thing about genetic modification is you can have two animals in one. You can have basically right now they have goats, and you can look this up. Goats that secrete they secrete spider silt in their milk. So what they're doing, and also we have salmon that has eel DNA in order to make it grow 4 times as big. And that was also introduced into our food, and we don't even have a right to know if the salmon is genetically modified. But one thing about the genetic modifications, they can mix this mosquito with whatever. They can mix the mosquito with a maggot. They can mix the mosquito with a poisonous whatever. We don't know what it's been modified with at all. These are things we need to know before they release it to the public and release it to us. So not to be a fear monger or anything of that nature, I just wanted to come on here real quick and just express my concern for this right here. A company called Oxid has received an experimental use permit from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to release genetically modified mosquitoes into the wild. This would be the first time such an experiment was attempted with the borders of the U.S., and the permit was allowed for the release of millions of genetically modified mosquitoes each week over the next 2 years. Okay, so they're going to be doing this on a consistent basis. Genetically modified insects will be released in Florida and Texas, but will be easily be available to travel through the country from there. That's scary. They're going to be in the hottest areas. Usually we have some genetically modified is it makes it stronger to be able to endure things that the regular ones would not be able to do. Just like they genetically modified an apple in order for it not to brown for hours. So when you have a regular natural apple, you cut it open, and within 5 minutes you start seeing it brown in the inside. So these genetically modified things are very. We have a lot of questions when you release it to the public to bite humans. We have a lot of questions about this. The mosquitoes are likely only being deployed in Texas, Florida for now because of the company needs approval from each individual state. In addition, the federal EPA approval. Previously planned release in the Florida key of an earlier version. The mosquito was canceled in 2016 after pushback from local residents about the potential danger. And the fucked up part is when you look up the Zika virus, that originated in Florida. So we have the virus that originated in Florida, and they want to. And that virus, if you look up the Zika virus, that attacked children in the womb, causing them to have very small heads. They really, and you can look it up right now. Zika baby, Zika baby, and you'll see babies with very small brains and heads because they've been damaged for life because of a virus that a mosquito brought. And I bring this up also because they're trying to spread this coronavirus that they made up in the laboratory. They're trying to spread this out. I can imagine using mosquitoes to spread, and mosquitoes are in certain areas too. But let's continue. However, other regions have welcomed with open arms, including Brazil and other places. For a recent public forum regarding this recent permit application in the U.S., there were 31,000 commented opposing the release of mosquitoes and only 56 in support. While the EPA promised to consider the votes during this review process, the permit still went through anyway. So they're getting bought and paid for. EPA is getting paid for just like everyone else. Just like we already talk about the courts getting paid. They are getting paid by these companies and not by the people who these companies are damaging. So the company's the one with the money, so they don't care about the regular people. Scientists hope that this genetically modified mosquito can eliminate diseases that are typically carried by mosquitoes, so they got these. They also have the Zika one that I call yellow fever. So they got these different ones. The plan is that these genetically modified male mosquitoes will mate with wild females. Let me get back here. Wild females, and their genetic will cause the children to die and should cause a collapse in the wild population. However, there are growing concern about among scientists that the technology may not be ready for deployment and that the risks have not been studied thoroughly enough. Many scientists are warned about the potential and unintended consequences that can come from unleashing such an insect in the wild. For example, researchers are entirely unaware of what type of allergic reaction these insects could cause if they interact with people. Okay, to help with some of these concerns, the Institute of Stability, Energy, and Environment of the University of Illinois on genetically modified mosquitoes, which involve 35 researchers from various different backgrounds, including academia, governments, nonprofit organizations. The researchers came from many different parts of the world, and they were experts in biology. Ultimate conclusion of the research came was that the process by which this type of genetically modification was sanctioned was not transparent enough, and that the entire risk assessment for the technology needed to be studied and reconsidered before any further wild experimentation done. They also noticed that the new risk assessment procedures should be more transparent and open to the public so researchers can monitor the studies and be confident that everything above board. However, it does not seem that anyone's actually listened to these scientists because the experiments are planned to go ahead as scheduled and show no signs of slowing down at any time soon. So right here, we're just seeing this in particular. Like I said, I'm more of a scientist than anything else in my professional life. So this is alarming, concerning. We talk about genetic modification. There's a lot that needs to be looked at. There's a lot of, we talk about watchdogs groups. If we have something that can potentially hurt human life, we do not need to deal with it. It's just kind of like they was talking about the murder hornet and things of that nature. When we look at the reason that they were not released or things that not having in that regards to murder hornet is because they can easily be taken back and researched themselves. So, there's a lot that we need, that the people need, nonprofit organizations that can go behind these big corporations and really look and see exactly what's going on. But I just want to throw this out here for now. I don't want to try to seem like I'm the first one to do it because I'm not. Somebody shared this and it caught my interest. But yes, in Texas and Florida, they're ready to release mosquitoes that are genetically modified. Genetically modified means Franken mosquitoes never to this world. That can be mixed with anything. They could have mixed a mosquito with a damn lion DNA. They can mix the mosquito with a black widow spider DNA and for the poisonous effect. But let me stop ranting. Let me get off of here.